We're back.
And deader than ever.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Tamara.
And this is
Ghoul
Beans. That was Sans Mixer because we are star-crossed lovers tonight.
Yes. Star-crossed, but not doomed to fate. We are, actually. Everybody is. Not doomed to death.
Oh, God. At first, I was like, that'd be a really good greeting card. And then, that's like the little snippet at the bottom. It's like, yeah, actually, we are, because everybody is.
Everybody is. How have you been? We haven't recorded in a while.
I know. We stockpiled, and now we're at the end of our stockpile because we're garbage. But I've been good. I have a headache, as I was telling you earlier, and they really throw me for a loop. And I have finally heard back. I don't know if I told you, my professor. So we have to do labs, and I was locked out. I feel like I said this like 3 episodes ago.
You did, I think.
And she answered no one.
Icon behavior.
And she's got like a good reason, so I'm not mad at it. But like, she wasn't answering. I think it took her, this is the 4th week since like we've had the problems. And like, you can't do the homework without the lab. There's specifically parts in the homework that are like, and now go back to your lab.
Yeah.
And so we all got like zeros, and we're emailing her. I emailed her separately. I emailed her with like everyone CC'd. I emailed my like advisor, and she made no announcements. She did nothing. And so she finally got back to us today, and she emailed the exact same thing over and over again. And it was that like, go ahead and turn in like proof that it wouldn't work, from 3 weeks ago. Proof that you couldn't get in then, and do everything that you can do without the lab, which was nothing. And then she said that, yeah, for sure, love it. And she said her son was in the hospital, and like, okay, girl, I get it. Like, obviously, don't be the boss.
Am I a bitch? Because immediately I went, no, he's not.
Well, like, my thing is, even if he is, like, I know that I couldn't just leave my job on red for like 4 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, certainly I don't expect her to be grading our papers or even like answering each of our emails, but all she had to do was put an announcement on like the little portal page that said, I will be out of contact for the next 3 weeks. But yeah, all she had to do was put a little announcement out, because I checked that announcement every single week because I was like, okay, I'm failing this class because there are zeros for all of those things. So yeah, and my advisor's kind of garbage right now too. Like, I was looking for internship opportunities, and she like literally copy pasted a link, said nothing else. And I was like, girl. And then I told her about the professor, and she didn't get back to me. I emailed her last week. She literally got back to me this morning, the same day that the professor got back to all of us. And she was like, oh yeah, she'll be speaking to you guys shortly. Okay, it's just cool. Like, what? Ma'am,
you guys are conspiring.
A lot of money and yeah, you guys were hanging out, okay?
They're in cahoots.
You guys are lesbian lovers, and it was your son, and I get it, but like, also you have to be responsible.
And like, yes, gay rights, but also,
where
are my rights?
Congratulations. Don't make me do this homework.
Yeah, actually, she should have just taken it off, period.
I agree. So, especially just like the no communication is wild. But and I feel, because it's like graduate school, and I'm also 28, like I feel very much less like, excuse me, professor.
Yes.
I'm like, Liz.
Hey, Lizzie.
I'm going to need to hear back, or I'm going to need you to adjust the grade, because I am an adult with a full-time job and living flourishing life, and what doesn't fit in is your nonsense.
I like that you decided to throw in flourishing.
She needs to know that I have other things going on.
I have hobbies, Elizabeth.
I can't just sit around waiting for an answer. Like,
definitely, I relate to that hardcore. Like, today I had a meeting with someone who is supposed to know more, period. With someone who's supposed to know more than me and my immediate higher up. And every answer we got, which we can't even get this anyway. He's hard to pin down.
Okay.
And every answer we got was like, well, you know what? Every single question we had, he was like, you know what? I would take that up with so-and-so. I would, you know what? Let me write down an email for you to, this is the person in charge of that department. Sir, you are directly in charge of me. And you're supposed to have the answers. Like, his title is big enough where you would be like, oh, obviously that's the person that's the point of contact. He's made it abundantly clear that he disagrees. And he doesn't feel that way. And he won't be doing that. And I said, okay, I'll go fuck myself. That's fine.
So let's get into it. Today, I visited a little chic boutique of a coffee shop called McCafe. I thought that, we did Dunkin' and we did Starbucks. And I was like, what's another, I'm just going to grab it because I'm on my way to work. And you know what? I'm not upset. Who did this and who didn't tell me? This is Ronald needs to get his motherfucking word out because I paid $2.46 for a large. I mean, inflation, it's hitting everywhere. But no, it's just a regular coffee with cream and sugar, and I am loving it. It's like, I'm gonna say it's like Dunkin' on a good day. Yeah, no, I would say that.
I think it's, you know what? I haven't had McCafe in a long time. I'll have to dabble once again. But there's not one really close to here, so that's the issue. I'm not having a McCafe.
That's good for you. It's not like I don't revel in the fact that I had to order a coffee in the drive-thru of McDonald's. It did feel vile.
It felt wrong.
What are you drinking?
I'm having a decaf vanilla latte from a coffee shop called Brewed. I love it. It's so cool. You would love it. It's literally right next to the house. It's like 80s, 90s horror theme.
Oh my God.
It's so fucking cool. Well, I didn't have time today to stop in and ask them. I literally ran in, picked up my order, and left because I got off of work at 6. I didn't have time to ask them if they've heard any haunted things or if they've been ooked and spooked. And I'm sure the McDonald's has lots of haunting stories. But
I'm haunted from driving through there.
But I bet you they do because they sell stuff there. Like merch and stuff. Like they don't sell like haunted dolls. I thought you were talking about
McDonald's. But they sell and I was like, yeah, I guess like chicken nuggets and stuff.
No, we're not fucking talking about McDonald's.
Oh, you said it. You brought it up. Okay. They
used to sell socks.
What?
McDonald's, you could buy socks and go in the play place.
Oh, like it was like a jump zone situation. You know, like those trampoline places where you have to have the mental health socks.
Oh, the grippy socks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss those. Sometimes I think I'm headed back for another pair, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But
today
yes,
specifically.
Delicious. Yeah, today is a grippy sock kind of day.
It is a grippy sock kind of day.
And it was just really warm out, which again, that's not great, but it was really warm out, so I'm gonna enjoy global warming while it's happening. And then today is really like frigid, and tomorrow's supposed to snow 8 inches. So
it's supposed to be like 12 inches up here. I'm not going anywhere.
I hope that they cancel. I'm gonna tell my boss like I'm trudging up there, very angry.
You're right.
I better have a hot cocoa on my desk, stat.
Okay, I keep interrupting you. Please continue about the coffee shop we are going to review again because I'm going next time.
Oh my God. I went not too long ago to like just sit on my computer. Not great for that, I have to be honest, unless you have insane noise canceling headphones because they are blasting music. It is more like a hangout kind of spot.
Yeah.
Although they have lots of spots to like, you know, do work, but I don't know how anybody's doing it. But what was I gonna say? Oh, what I had last time I was there was called the Fire Starter, which is based on the movie The Fire Starter with Drew Barrymore when she's a little kid.
Yeah.
And it is an iced latte, obviously with espresso and milk, and they have tangerine extract ancho chili dust, crushed red pepper, and cinnamon syrup. And it's not crazy spicy. It's so fucking good. I was like slamming my hand on the desk when I was drinking it. I was like, this should be illegal. It was so good. I didn't want to get that again because it is kind of late and I don't want to get like a little heartburn itch.
Yeah.
But that's going to be my go-to. I mean, that's our coffee shop now. Now it's literally like 2 blocks away from us. Yeah, really excited.
I love that. That's a rave review. I cannot wait to go.
Oh, yeah. 10 out of 10. Go to Brood in Avondale. It's almost Logan, but it's not. Go to Brood in Avondale, Chicago. Highly recommend.
Love that. Oh, my God. Okay. Well, I can't wait to go. I'm jealous, but I'm not upset.
But I will be consoled.
But McCafe has my back today.
They should sponsor us. I mean, we burn the bridge with Starbucks. Certainly, we call Dunkin' battery acid.
How bad is it that like a McCafe is rocking my world right now, but like a Starbucks, just chill coffee?
It's like, because you were always getting Starbucks because you worked at Starbucks and it's like so convenient. It's kind of like a little like, it's just like throwing you for a loop.
It is. I do feel wild. I can't tell you the amount of judgment I've always had. I'm crazy.
You're so wild.
I'm so quirky.
And different and not like anybody else. Well,
so
should I introduce the topic for this episode?
Please. What kind of episode are we having today?
It is probably, actually, I think this is my favorite kind, right next to Roasted and Ghosted. It is a Ghouls being Ghouls. We're going to be reading scary stories. I don't think, unfortunately, we had any submitted this week.
No, we didn't have any submitted. So here's our PSA. If you have any ghost stories, or if you know any ghost stories, or if you read on Reddit or anywhere else, BuzzFeed, I know I get down those wormholes, send it to us at ghoulbeanspodcast@gmail.com. Also, we love to hear the reviews, read the reviews, hear your thoughts, rate us 5 stars, and leave a review on Apple Podcasts and Audible. And that's it.
And you don't have to just send us scary stories. You can send us like coffee recommendations. You can just say, love the pod.
So true. And you could like send us like things to roast, like anything that you're like, oh, that'd be fun to like talk about. I bet they would like it too.
This is my ex-boyfriend. His is his name. Roast him. I would love to do that.
Oh my God. If I would easily swerve into that new lane of podcasting.
It would not even be a swerve. It would just be a lane change.
Slam podcasting. But yeah, and if you don't want to email because you're young and hip, DM us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Please.
Great.
Awesome. Okay, so roasted. No, Jesus Christ.
Oh, yikes.
So, Ghoul being Ghouls.
Oh my God.
You take it. I'm going to visit my favorite little coffee shop.
So, wait, what are you saying? We already introduced what it is.
Yeah, I was just trying to transition.
Kelly is delirious. Did you get up at like 5?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
that'll do.
And I stayed up late last night. I'm a grandma now. I normally go to bed
Me too.
early, but I stayed up late.
I stayed up late last night. I made the executive decision that I'm like, I'm 28. I can stay up late and I can wake up and it'll just suck for one day. It actually is a domino effect. It doesn't really suck for one day.
You're going to be working that off till you're 30. Your debt to society.
Seriously.
This one is from Reddit user. You know what? It could be senior. It could be senor. I'm going senor. Senor Sense. It feels wrong. Reddit user Senor Sense 8813. And it is titled, I Think I've Been Possessed or Haunted. Spooky. Love. They say, so to start, at the time I was around 11 or 12. I'm a person who loves mysteries and documentaries types of stuff. I loved learning about spiritual things. I would watch this one YouTuber, I think the name was Top 5, I'm not too sure. But he would talk about things like top 5 scariest things caught on camera. Classic. We have all followed down that rabbit hole. He would post daily and I would watch his videos every single day. I would spend hours at a time watching those videos and never get scared or frightened in any way. But one day
I think I know who this is.
Oh, really?
This like I think it's that guy on YouTube who's like, welcome to the haunted zone. The haunted zone. There's 3 separate ghosts in the haunted zone. He talks like that the whole time.
I would not be able to handle that.
It is hard. I put it in 1.5.
That's like when I love 1.5. What is the one? I was going to say something. It's like, I can't stand when I go to like look at news and it's someone on YouTube talking about the news I want to like see. You know what I mean? And by news, I mean like celebrity drama or something like that. And I click
and they're not like showing you like receipts and pictures and stuff. They're just like, and then Hailey Bieber said this.
Yeah, or it's like, I want to see this video clip of like someone slapping someone else. And I'm like, oh my God.
And they describe it the whole time?
Yeah, and they like play a short clip and then like, and then, so as you can see here, and I'm like, I'm going to kill everyone. This is a bad platform.
Let me make the analysis.
Right.
I don't need you to do it.
No, you're ruining my experience. Okay. I would spend hours at a time watching those videos and never get scared or frightened in any way. But one day I was watching one of his videos. I start to get this eerie feeling. I start to feel off and unreal. I then go through a dissociative episode. It feels like I have to puke and I can't recognize myself. I shut my computer and start to flip.
What the fuck?
Yeah, right? I was terrified.
That's too real.
I know.
It's just like, I don't know. I feel like that could happen to me. I mean,
sure.
It's a grippy sock day.
That's true. Don't go on top 5 right now. I was terrified to turn my computer on again after that. Until a few weeks later, I wanted to watch YouTube on my computer, and it was the only device at the time. I turned my computer on and went to YouTube, and since I always watch the scary mystery videos, my recommended was all filled up with them. They're like, we're back, baby. You got so much in your queue.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I see it, I immediately freeze. I felt like I wasn't here, and I was terrified. So it sounds like they started to like dissociate again.
Yeah, seriously.
I got a sense of deja vu and pure terror and panic. I felt every emotion in my body and was uncomfortable. Once I snapped back, I shut my computer and was overwhelmed. I went to my mom crying and told her I was afraid. I was shaking.
What the fuck? This is gross.
Right. It's like more than just like, oh, I'm scared. I was shaking and couldn't breathe straight. I was extremely paranoid after that. Something that day changed me. Now, years later, I still can't pull myself to watch those types of videos. Some of the fear has worn off, but I'm still worried that what happened will happen again. I still don't know why I reacted the way I did, and if anyone knows anything, please help.
I don't know anything, and I don't know how to help you, but I would say don't just stop engaging with that. Yeah. Also, I'm wondering the exact video you watched.
Right. Like, I don't want to watch it, but I also just think, like, you know, watching stuff, like we've talked about it, it, like, invites stuff. So if there was already, like, a creepy entity in the house or something, like, that could have brought it near.
And I'm also thinking that, like, I'm trying to, I'm trying to think about it a little, at least a little bit logically.
Yeah,
that whatever you watched, I don't even know if you remember the video. That would be telling enough for me that you watched this video. Whatever you watched was so scary to you at the time. I don't know what. Yeah. And were you setting a vibe? Was it like it was dark in the room? The only light is the light from the computer. You're watching it. You saw it and it was scaring you so bad that your brain could have just blocked it out. There are whole parts of people's lives that they black out because it gets like scary. Like their brain just does that. So that definitely could be a thing, and then you go back and you see like the covers of the video, the thumbnails, and then you're like your heart starts racing because your brain's like, don't fucking do that again.
That's so true. You know, like I was saying earlier, as I'm trying to coerce people to send us stories, I definitely like. If I'm scrolling through Facebook and one of the BuzzFeed articles of like 31 scary ghost stories to ruin your day, like I fucking love, obviously we have this podcast, so I love those stories. And it's so different. Like it is, but like, so I'll sit, it's like someone goes through Reddit, it's someone goes through Reddit and like combines all the best stories, and I'm like, great, all the work is done for me. Which is kind of what we're doing for everyone else. But It's just like I'll be if I'm like doing it at night or something in my room, like if I can't fall asleep, and that's the psychotic way I choose to spend my time. Once I'm like done kind of scrolling through the stories and I like close it, like I do have an eerie feeling, you know what I mean?
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, you're already it's called like absolute zero or something, where your brain literally tricks your ears or like forces your ears to hear things you would never normally hear. Like it starts to go into your like primitive brain where you're like in a savannah living to survive. It's very that. Like it like that stuff like taps into my lizard brain. Yeah. But like I love it. So like that's the problem. I don't get so scared where I like I've blacked it out. However, I have definitely gotten to the point where I'm like, I actually can't do this because I will start blacking it out.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you learned your limit that day, senor.
You watched one too many videos, I think.
Yeah. Probably your adrenaline was so high for so long.
On the off chance that it was something spooky, like, that is scary. And I have heard of people who, like, do have hauntings and stuff happen when, like, they're researching topics or something like that, and it's just like they're in it, and so they're almost opening themselves up to it, inviting research. Yeah. So either way, it sucks because fear, whether it's real or your lizard brain popping out, like it's always scary.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
That was a good little intro.
Yes, a little amuse bouche.
Amuse bouche. We have a lot of amuse bouche variety. You help yourself to a nugget, a single fry,
a chicken nugget, a French fry, a McDouble,
a mic doublé,
a shamrock shake,
a pie de apple. What accent is this? This is from like Genovia or something. Okay.
Continue.
This one?
Genovia.
The land I call my home.
The amount of times I'm doing something and that song just starts rolling in the back of my head.
Me too.
Anytime Canada's anthem is on.
Like, then I think about the pears and how they're I always think about that.
Gosh dang, I always think about the lawn. What a good scene.
Have I ever Oh yeah, that's a good scene. Did I ever introduce you guys to the Princess Diaries drinking game?
No, I don't think you have.
Oh bitch, we're playing that. It is iconic. Me and Mariel invented it. We introduced it to everyone that we ever like, you want to play a drinking game? It's so good because it's so funny. One of the rules is every time that I'm a Supergirl comes on, you have to chug the whole time it's on.
I love that.
And I want to know who's going to serve me. That one. Take a sip every time she says the word Joe, Joey, Joseph. Yeah, there's so many good ones. But anyway. Okay.
I would
back to what the listeners want to hear.
Right. I don't know. That's a pretty good tidbit. But continue.
This is from Reddit user, anonymous. Oh, this is an anonymous user.
Gross. Senora.
Senora.
Senor Anonymous.
This is called A Haunting in Georgia. One of my good friends in high school had this lake house. It was given to his parents by their grandparents. They lived in this house from 1990 to 93. One day, in 93, his mom woke him and his younger sister up and then left the house. Mind you, it was 2 or 3 in the morning.
Ew.
They went to a restaurant that was open 24/7 and stayed there until sunrise and went home, packed all of their clothing.
Me as fuck. No, goddamn. Like, if that's not the most correct response.
You don't even know what happened and you're like, period.
She did the damn thing. Mike, that's going to be, if ever were anything to happen, that would be my kid's story. It'd be like, we had a wacky night the other night.
We went to IHOP the whole night. They went to a restaurant that was open 24/7 and stayed there until sunrise and went home, packed all of their clothing, and other important things, then left the house. They never went back, and his mother will not talk about what happened. They still own this property. It has 2 homes on it, and it is lakefront, probably worth millions. The power is still on, and his dad comes and checks on it every so often.
Okay, actually, shut up. Like, actually,
no,
shut your mouth.
Really bad.
Wait, there's more?
Yeah.
No, ma'am. Okay, I'm excited. This is a good one.
So, in hearing that story, we of course went to the lake house. Remember, this is his friends.
Okay. So
this is his buddy's house that he told him this story about how this is the one night that his, whatever.
Tell me, how tempted would you be? So tempted.
The minute I heard about it, I'm like, if it's still daylight, we're going right now.
Right. Oh my God. We are the dumbasses.
But they still own it, so it's theirs.
No, I know, but the fact that's even worse. You know what I mean?
Oh my God,
like,
I know.
We're not going to put this evil into the world.
Well, I have a little juicy tidbit after this story. So
okay, please.
So in hearing that story, we of course went to the lake house. Pulling up, a motion sensor floodlight flicked on and stayed on. Unlocked the deadbolt, which requires a key to open on both sides, and walked in. Instantly, you got that creepy feeling like someone was watching you. We walked around for about half an hour, walking up the stairs and unlocking another door with a deadbolt on both sides. And man, was it eerie. All the furniture still set up, his sister's nursery still intact, and a tea kettle still on the stove. Just straight up creepy in every way. Finally, we go to leave and decide to go through the garage. I have the keys, and again, you have to have a key to unlock it from the inside. I'm trying to open the door and turn around to get the light, just in time to see a rock come from somewhere down the hall and hit my foot.
Shut
Staring
up. I'm sorry. Not you,
No.
obviously.
Yeah.
I say shut your mouth, and I'm immediately
That's
talking
like the
to
Princess
Senor
Diaries
Anonymous.
reference again.
It is.
I remember he's like, shut up doesn't always mean shut up, Your Highness.
Yeah.
It means Golly, Wolly, gee whiz. Okay.
I'm going to say Golly Wolly from now on.
Golly Wolly. Staring at all 3 of my friends and not seeing them do anything with their arms or leg or anything else, I decide to unlock the door more rapidly. Finally, I found the right key and put it in the keyhole, and as soon as I do, the garage door opens about 2 feet. And thanks to the motion sensor floodlight that's still on, I can see a chair in the garage. The chair proceeds to be thrown against the wall with a violence I can't describe, and the garage door is slammed shut. I turn around to say, let's get the hell out of here, and see a rock come from the darkness again and hit the wall with more force right next to my head.
Oh my gosh.
At this point, I'm done. We run back to the stairs, down to the basement, and for the safety of the door, we came in. The door which requires a key on either side to lock or unlock.
Oh.
We left it unlocked, and it is now locked. Freaking out, hearing what sounds like heavy running footsteps upstairs. I am panicking to find the key. Finally, I find it and unlock the door. We run to the next door, and you guessed it, locked. I again find the right key as the footsteps are getting louder and coming from down the stairs. We run out the door, and it gets left open by the last person out. And then as we go to shut the door, it's slammed shut, and instantly you heard the deadbolt.
Oh my God.
At this point, we are only focusing on getting out of this place, where we run to the truck and all 4 of us pile in. And as soon as the truck starts, every single light in the house came on. My buddy slams it into reverse. We're flying down this driveway, and as soon as the tires leave the gravel and hit the pavement of the road, all the lights in the house turned off.
Oh, no.
Something very, very bad is in that house. Not sure what, but I'll never go back. And I absolutely believe in ghosts, demons, etc. That's the whole story.
That was an amazing story. I am so G Willikers.
Golly Wolly gee whiz.
Holy shit. They should put that in the movie. I cannot believe that. I have so many thoughts. All of them are I'm scared. And
oh, there's somebody living in the house.
Somebody? You think somebody?
I think the chair that was the chair that was in the garage is somebody who like watches the house probably.
I don't know.
I think the person who was in the garage with the chair that like the door lifted, he watched all 4 of them walk in there. He said, I'm going to have a good old time.
You think so?
Yeah, I think
Who's
this was a person.
throwing the rocks?
Not him?
Not him.
I feel like it was to me, this reads, there's somebody living in this house.
It feels almost a little too like Home Alone for it to be someone living in the house. Like, I feel like a lot of stuff would have had to been like set up for four like teenage dudes to not like see anyone.
Yeah, totally.
And just like the vibe from
And it's in
the
Georgia?
mom being like, nope, and hell no. No matter what, it's really scary. And it's scary. It's individually scary whether it's a ghost or a person for like different reasons. So coming from Team Ghost, that's super disgusting. And like, if it were a ghost, it's like evil, you know? Like, that's a lot of power. That's a lot of like physical interaction and a lot of like force and anger. And then coming from a person, like, that's a lot of like setup and a lot of, I don't know, like a lot of like random fuckery. So like that also is just like mentally, yeah, you don't want to be in an empty house with that person.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I could be convinced potentially.
I know that I could not be convinced to go to that house.
I could.
Oh man.
Well, not after that. I would have
not
been
after that.
I would have been part of the cohort that was like, let's go.
For sure.
After, what do you mean? Like, I have to see it. Like, is everything still
Right.
intact?
Absolutely. And I would ask the dad. He still goes and like take care of it. Like, I would need to know.
Oh, that's another thing. I would, Anonymous, please post a part 2 where you're like, and this is what my dad said.
Yeah. Seriously.
Because if your dad's like, it's all a bunch of hullabaloo, then I'll be like, okay, it's a demon. But if your dad's like, yeah, I do feel creepy, I'm like, oh, that's a person.
That's amazing.
Or like at least living all around. I mean, there's 2 homes on the property.
That's true. Ugh, that's so nasty too.
So then I'm wondering if there's like a tree line we don't know about.
But that also just makes me think, like, why keep it and not rent it out? Why not sell it? Like, that makes me feel like it's like, I'm gonna not spread this into the world kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know what their family life is set up like.
I need more. That's the problem with these stories. We can't like contact them and be like, hello, tell me
I suppose
more.
we could.
That's true. I read your story. Tell me more.
I like it. Do you have any more stories?
What did your papa say?
What does Papa think? Okay, it's a person then. Bye.
Okay, bye. Thanks. Okay.
Your turn.
So this was posted by user Bella Danzarella, and it's titled "As a Child."
Ooh.
I know.
Great title.
I feel a little naive posting this, but I swear on everything I have that these experiences were real. I have read in numerous sources that ghosts/poltergeists are often attracted to interact with children for some reason or another. Anyway, I'll get to the stories. In about 4th or 5th grade, my friend and I, who I will call Jade, were obsessed with ghost stories and everything paranormal. For months and years on end, that's a dedication. We would try to contact the dead every time we hung out, despite our parents forbidding it. Okay, I never even thought about that.
Oh, you were begging for it.
I never even thought about that. I can forbid it in my house all I want, but a little child, they're going to do it.
Oh, and then especially if you tell them no.
Right.
They're going to try to have a seance in the bathroom.
They tried every single night, every single time they hung out for years.
I have chills.
That's wild.
Because you don't even know what you don't even know. And
Yeah.
then now it's accumulated throughout your life, and now you're fucking 20-something, and you're like, remember when we used to do that? And suddenly the walls are melting around you, and a demon lives in your home.
And you're like, I don't understand why. We used to just light candles and do chants that we found on the internet.
In Latin.
I learned another language for this. It was extra credit. There were a few instances where I still remember so vividly. When I think about them when I'm alone, I still get uneasy feelings. Jade
Same.
and I tried for weeks to get someone or something to show themselves. One night we stayed up late to do this, and we ended up being successful. We turned the lights off and had a few candles lit, so we were still able to see each other. We made a
I'm
circle.
gonna throw up.
We made a circle out of socks and sat in the middle of it with bowls of salt for protection.
What the hell is going on?
Like
you made an offering.
And they don't even know what they're doing. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, salt will protect. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anyone should be doing this, but like specifically, like you should be a professional or know some stuff.
The demons on the other side are fucking rubbing their little hands together.
Right.
Ah, yeah, baby.
They like...
Yeah, say the chant.
You know the one. Okay.
They're clomping their hooves.
Oh my god. We asked and asked for something to show itself. Jade had many posters on her walls, and that is how it chose to show itself. There was a poster with dogs on it behind us, and whatever it was in the room with us slapped the poster on the wall so hard. It was like if you had a normal piece of paper and you slapped it from the air down onto the table. The sound is so distinct.
My eyes are watering right now. This is so disgusting. It's painting such a picture.
I know. Like, that's how traumatized. We freaked out, especially when her parents came in and told us not to bang on the walls. And we tried to tell them it wasn't us, and they didn't believe us. We ended up not sleeping in her room that night, and not long after that incident, Jade had developed a phobia of any of her stuffed animals looking at her while she slept. So she would always...
sobbing. Stop! I feel sick to my stomach.
So she would always face them towards the wall before her bed, and this one teddy bear would always be turned back watching her after that.
Dude, my technology is getting fucked up. I'm feeling weird.
Oh, no.
It's like you sounded like you were in another room.
No.
Oh, my God. No! Stop! Okay. Sorry, repeat the last sentence you said. For everyone at home, my headphones made it sound like Kelly was in another room in her house, like trying to talk to me. Anyway.
For everyone on the pod, Tamara once again lives in a haunted apartment.
Classic Tamara.
Classic Tamara. Pulling the classic Tamara move. Okay. Oh, looking at her while she slept, she would face them towards the wall before her bed, and this one teddy bear would always be turned back watching her after that. At my own house, there was probably a year straight where I would hear activity in my room when I was about 11 or 12. I would try to fall asleep at night, and the sound of whispering would keep me up. It was like whispering voices all layered on top of each other, and it was so overwhelming. I could hear my toys move in the middle of the night, but I was never brave enough to peek my head out from under the covers.
These kids summon a poltergeist.
Literally, they are dumb.
What do you do with your child?
Throw it out.
You live in the river with La Llorona now.
Good luck.
Godspeed.
I had always sleptwalked. We don't know. I always sleepwalked, and I still do, but during this year, my sleepwalking was at an all-time high, and my parents would find me in random places in the house talking to myself in the middle of the night.
I'm at a loss for words. I, can't even think about, I'm stuck on thinking about, what the fuck would I do with my kid? Imagine somebody that I produced.
Wow.
Summoning something.
Not in my house.
Not under my fucking roof.
No, and you wake up and you see them standing there whispering to themselves. No, ma'am.
That's called boarding school.
There was one night which especially haunts me to this day. I had the flu when I was 13 or 14 years old, and I was really sick and had problems sleeping. I always slept with a nightlight on, What was that?
That was on your side. I heard it in my headphones.
I heard it in my headphones.
That has never happened. It's not on my thing.
What was it?
It went...
Yeah.
What? What the fuck is going on?
What? Stop looking! What?
My headphones just turned off and on again.
Oh my god. What do we do?
This is great content. Although it is horrifying in the moment.
Oh, I'm not having a fun time.
I'm giggling, but I'm scared.
Okay.
Keep going.
I'm going to try and finish this so we can get out of the way. It gets scary.
It gets scary?
Okay. So there was one night which especially haunts me this day. I had the flu when I was 13 or 14 years old, and I was really sick and had problems sleeping. I always slept with a nightlight on, so my room was dim and shadowy. I laid there on my back with my eyes open, unable to fall asleep. That layered whispering stuff started again, and for the first time in years. Along with the whispering, these huge shadows on the walls in my room slowly crept up my walls. I remember laying there sweating, unable to move because I was terrified. They slowly moved up the walls for about a minute until they reached my ceiling and caved in on top of me. Pitch black.
Ah!
It was suffocating and debilitating, and I still freak out thinking about it. The visuals are so clear in my head still today. Anybody can explain this as a fever dream, but I swear I did not fall asleep. I could not sleep. I believe it was an outer body experience because I saw this from the position of the corner of my room. I don't know how to explain this, but I know in my heart I was not asleep. Why does paranormal activity happen often to children rather than adults? Why do ghosts, poltergeists, or whatever target kids? Why have I not experienced anything else since I was a teenager? I'm gonna say like you. I don't like saying the words you asked for it, but like you.
That was my cat screaming.
Perfect, because I was like, girl, goodbye. End call. You go to the river.
Yeah, I would have. You know me. I'll simply pass away.
I'm safe because I'm dead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I have scary tears. So yeah, I just think like you literally were asking for it by like literally
like
asking
begging
for it. Yeah, like you devoted years of your life to it, you know? And I don't.
You said, please haunt me.
Yeah, and I just don't think you can like, you know,
undo what you've done.
Right. And like,
not to get bleak on you, girl, but like
I will.
You're fucked. Like,
yeah. Well, they said that they haven't seen anything else since they were a teenager. So like, that's lucky for them, you know.
That doesn't mean shit to me.
Sure.
I think you're donezo. Like,
yeah,
there's gonna be significant moments in your life, and you're gonna experience some weird shit, and you're gonna be like, how is this happening? Because you were a fucking little kid summoning a poltergeist.
Yeah, I literally don't understand.
And you focused your energy into it.
They
literally
much.
Like tried so hard
years.
To summon something.
They spent every time they were together years. And I will be
imagine
very
every time
careful.
You and I were together.
No,
we tried to summon a ghost.
That's the thing.
We would have summoned like 10 already.
I'll never like ask to see anything. You know what I mean? I think that is the ultimate like open the doorway kind of thing. And I just absolutely not, ma'am. No, thank you.
No, I'll never ask.
I'll specifically ask
show
to
yourself.
never see
I'll
anything.
never fucking do that.
No.
When they're like, show yourself.
I turn my TV down. I'm like, don't get
Me
any
too.
ideas.
I go, that's stupid. That's stupid.
Yeah. That's stupid. You better not.
You better not. All right. Wow. That was a good one.
That was a good one. It was so good that your ghost is acting up. It's like, damn. Right about me, bitch.
Let me get into Reddit. Okay. This one's called Menacing Memory.
Ayo.
By Reddit user MortyClone1. It's definitely Rick and Morty. Oh, man. Damn, I'm still like reeling off the last one.
I know, I'm so sorry. Let's take a deep breath. Ooh, that scared me. I'm so sorry, but when you like freaked out because your earphones turned off, I was like looking in my like little background and I was like, what?
I like how you thought it was you.
I like took my headphones off because I asked you what, and then I was like, I don't want to know.
You didn't need the answer. You wanted to read it from my lips. You didn't want to hear me say the words.
Oh my god. Okay. Please continue. I apologize.
Okay. No, you're okay. I was about 15 years old, living in a rented house with my mom. Actually, it says my mum.
Ooh.
My bedroom was at the front of the house, and my bed had 2 mattresses on it. A spring mattress on the bottom and a soft foam mattress on the top.
Fancy.
Oh, it's like a box spring.
Oh. Normal.
This person's not from here.
Okay.
Completely normal. My bed was positioned on the outer corner wall under the window. I woke up one night for no particular reason, but felt uneasy in this heavy, quiet sensation. Dude, that literally explains so many situations. Like, I read the words heavy, quiet. Bitch, I would describe that, like, that's a perfect turn of phrase for a lot of, like, when we're like,
yeah,
it's too quiet right now.
Yeah.
In the corner of my room, diagonally opposite of my bed, in the corner of the inner walls of the room, something was clinging to the ceiling and the walls.
Shut the fuck up. As you said, in the corner of my room, I remembered that I've never heard this story before, and I was like, I'm actually unprepared. I was like, okay, great, it's Tamara's turn. I can relax.
No, it's the worst part.
No. Oh my God. Chill. Are you kidding me? I'm that mom in IHOP, and you ask me, I'll tell you. I won't keep that to my grave. You'll know. Everyone will know. Oh, why do I have a money pit on Georgia's shoreline? Because of creepy crawly McGee in the ceiling. Continue.
Yeah, and the mimic in the basement.
Blech. I hate it.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry. G. Willikers.
No, you're okay.
Golly Wally.
Golly Wally G. Whiz. So something was clinging to the ceiling and walls. Oh. It was almost completely transparent, but the light was distorted, bending almost, around the curvatures and the edges of its form. It was humanoid in shape, but devoid of features. It hung there in the top right-hand corner of the opposite wall, as if it had its back pressed to the corner. Its feet and hands were up beside its body, sort of like how Spider-Man might hang in such a spot.
Ew.
It had been there watching me sleep.
Ew.
When I saw it, I was awake.
I can't.
It started moving along the top far wall, closer to my bed.
How fucked up is that? It waited for them to wake up, and it's like...
I feel like that's exactly right. It wasn't making... It was silent.
I, don't know what to say. I want to be, clever. I want to be blah, blah, blah. I'm just, scared.
Yeah, that happens.
Continue.
When it saw I was awake, it started moving along the top far wall closer to my bed. Then it started moving along the ceiling towards me. It didn't move its limbs. It was more like it hovered along its path. Sorry, reading it makes me sick.
Yeah.
I was paralyzed with fear and my heart was racing. This thing came across the ceiling until it was directly above me. And then it slowly descended down over me, and my mattress sunk down with the weight of it, where its limbs pressed down into the mattress on both sides of me, as if it was on all fours, leaning into my face.
I can't. I literally, stopped breathing.
This is like Tony again.
Right. And he's like,
this happened to Tony, and Tony went, I'm having sleep paralysis.
Continue.
All I could do was squeeze my eyes shut and turn my face away, screaming in my head over and over again for this thing to go away. Only a few moments later, everything returned to normal. I heard ambient sound return, waves from the nearby ocean, and the wind outside. I could pull my blanket up, so it mustn't have been on my bed anymore. Without even opening my eyes, I didn't want to see if it was still there. I pulled the blanket up over my head and stayed there under the blanket.
Imagine it is still there, and it's just like, you pull the blanket up, it's like, excuse me.
It's like in the bed with you now.
You're cuddling. It's actually a love story.
You're spooning. This is actually about how we met. This is my meet cute.
Oh.
My mom's cat, who doesn't like me, came and hopped into my bed and laid down on my chest to sleep, which was unusual. This bears a lot of the hallmarks of sleep paralysis. Oh my God! And as an adult, I found out my brother suffered with sleep paralysis a lot as a child, but didn't know what was happening. The whole experience was extremely vivid and malevolent, though, and to this day, it's kept me guessing about what happened, and it's been 20 years.
Damn.
People in the comments, by the way, are all going, "No, that was not sleep paralysis," because this person moved.
Right. Yeah. Okay. If it's sleep paralysis, that's horrible, right? That's worst case scenario sleep paralysis, I think.
I mean, I feel like that's past. They've passed it.
Right. Right. I'm just saying, like, if it's, because some people get sleep paralysis and they see, like, spiders or something crawling along the walls, which, like, would be gross, would hate. But, like, actually, it's still horrible. But,
Yeah.
like, I think seeing a creature and having it descend on top of you and being able to feel it, like,
it, like, absorbed sound.
yeah, it's a lot. Like, that's a lot. So, let's, playing the advocate. We are reading off Reddit after all.
That's true. If it could have definitely, I mean, of course, everything can be chalked up to sleep paralysis, but there's a lot of indicators here for me. You said heavy quiet.
Yeah.
You open your eyes, it moved across the room, landed on top of you, and, like, had its face in your face.
Yeah. God, I hate, like, the thought of it, honestly.
Me too. And it had no features.
Yeah.
But it was like that's what I mean. Like, I definitely can picture it. It's like a 3D stick figure almost.
Right. Very Slenderman. Ron Slenderman.
Ronald. Here you go.
And, like, I'm not knocking sleep paralysis. Like, if you are plagued by sleep paralysis, you might as well have a haunted house. You know what I mean? Tamara, what's happening over there?
Okay, we're back.
And deader than ever.
So we just had to pause for a moment because I turned back and my computer said that I've only been recording for 8 minutes.
That is crazy, by the way.
And then I clicked and I was like having a panic attack, not only because we just lost all this footage or, like, this whole episode, but, like, in my mind, but because when I clicked playback, noise just happened. That was a lot. It didn't happen in real life, which is concerning. Go ahead. I said, there he go.
I can't remember what we were talking about. All I know is that if it's a ghost, that's scary. If you're, like, plagued by sleep paralysis, you might as well live in a haunted house. But, like, nothing scarier
totally
than you dealing in real time with something.
No, but that's a good way to put it, though, that if you have really severe sleep paralysis, you might as well live in a haunted house.
Right. Like, it's just as bad.
The call is coming from inside the house.
Oh, man. For real, though. Yeah, that sucks. Like, that just sucks. That's all I can say.
I've only had that one experience, which, if you haven't heard about it, go back and listen to the Tony episodes, because I do talk about it on that. But that's only happened to me once. But I've been having really, like, because this job is stressful, I've been having insane stress dreams.
Oh, man. What's your go-to stress dream?
Go-to stress dream is teeth falling out.
Mine too! Twinsies.
Yeah. My teeth fall out by going black, and then I touch the tooth, and then it disintegrates in my hand.
So mine, I think the worst part about my stress dreams is that, like, I can feel in them. And so my first ever stress dream when I was working at the hotel, I remember, like, I had a huge, like, just jaw ache, and I look in the mirror, and I have way too many teeth, like, in my mouth, basically, and I smile, and they all fall out. And, like, the worst part of the tooth stress dream, I think, is, like, the feeling of teeth rolling around in my mouth.
Rolling around in your mouth.
Oh, my God. Every time I wake up, I
get that too.
Oh, thank God.
Me too. Every single time I wake up from a stress dream, that's, like, particularly the tooth falling out stress dream, which is very common for some reason. I'm always like, like, tapping my teeth. I'm like, thank the Lord, or thank the universe. And my second stress dream variety is that I am late to a flight that I have to fucking be on because there's something really important happening, and I'm, like, either getting celebrated or I promised somebody I'd be somewhere, and everybody in their fucking everybody that I've ever met is trying to stop me from getting on this goddamn flight.
That's so funny.
And I'm, like, sweating. I'm, like, screaming to get on this plane. So that's, like, the next. Those two I have a lot, but the most recent stress dream was 2 nights ago, and it was probably my worst one, I think, I've had in a long time. I had a dream that my partner was having a manic episode, and I did not feel safe around them, which is so unlike them. But your brain. And was having a really severe manic episode, and was really was ignoring me, or like being intentionally mean to me. And then like straight up just went to like not responding to me at all. And then I called for them, and they walked up to me with like huge dilated eyes and scissors in their hand, and they were trying to stab me really bad. Like they wanted to stab me really bad. And I remember I was screaming, like trying to get them to like look at me and be like, what are you doing? Like, instead of being just afraid, I was like, you're having a crisis right now. Which I think tricked my brain into thinking it was so realistic. You know? And I remember in the dream, like telling everybody, like telling people, telling you even, that I was like, I don't feel safe around them. I'm scared to be in this house alone with them. And you were like, that's just like so out of character. Like everybody was convincing me out of it, dude.
We were gaslighting you.
Yes. And so I like refused, and I went out of the house so that I wouldn't have to be near them. And they were supposed to be with their mom or something. And I was like at a restaurant with my friend, and we were like having drinks at the bar. I was explaining, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. It's seemingly getting better. Like they're, maybe they're depressed or something. That was like a horrible psychotic episode.
Yeah.
And they showed up. My partner showed up at this like bar and like was trying to make their way through the crowd to get to me, bro.
Oh my, this is such an intense and like long dream.
It happened in an hour.
Oh my God.
I woke up because my partner always kisses me goodbye before they go to work, and said, bye, getting on the train, love you. And I always go, okay, love you, be safe. Every single time. Went back to sleep, slept through my alarm, which was supposed to happen 20 minutes after that.
Damn.
I overslept by an hour. And I woke up and, like, my shirt was soaked through with sweat. And then I had to immediately tell them, like, I just had a stress dream where you wanted to kill me really bad. Like, really bad. Yeah. So that was traumatizing.
No, that's, like, scary. That I would almost consider, like, I know stress dreams are nightmares, but I feel like that's almost just, like, straight up nightmare. You know what I mean?
It was a stress-induced horrible nightmare.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to do one more story?
Do you have a short one? My last one's kind of long.
I do have a short one.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Okay. This one is what it is. So it's by user Weary Opportunity 314. I have to start this story with that I see spirits and work with them. I'm very close with the spirit side of this world, and have seen death before, but not like this. I was going to see my boyfriend before his hockey game. I love contact hockey and love to watch him have fun. We were just chilling when his dad said it was time to go, and that's when I felt him. All I can describe it as was that death was there. I didn't think much of it and just kept going, but as we got in the car and my boyfriend's dad started to drive, I kept feeling like death was next to me. We had come to the railroad when boyfriend's dad blew the stop sign. I looked to the right with his dad and nothing. I feel like it's a mistype, but they're saying I looked to the right and there was nothing. Look to the left.
Oh, they're going, I looked to the right, nothing.
Yeah.
Look to the left, nothing.
Yeah. But looked to the left and saw Looked to the left and saw the train light. Right before I put my hands over my head, I heard the train horn and my boyfriend's dad say, "Oh, fuck." The train hit the center of the car, right in between me and my boyfriend's dad. His dad had passed that night. The driver's side was up after the roll, so when I got out, I had to push myself to fall in the snow. I ended up with only ripped muscles and a ligament. I got to the road before hearing my boyfriend screaming. I had ran to him in my broken state. He was in the passenger side. When I looked back to the train tracks, I could see my boyfriend's dad and a black figure who I think was Death. He had his hand on my boyfriend's dad's shoulder. Boyfriend only had 3 broken ribs and a bruised spleen. I have PTSD because I remember everything. Boyfriend doesn't remember a thing. Boyfriend's dad's words haunt me and I don't sleep now. But I didn't ever think I would see death. I think I was supposed to die that night too.
I would have to agree.
Yeah.
the death being, like, seeing death, that's, I feel like it's really common. So it's like, you know?
I think that, I mean, that would be horrifying. And just to feel that, like, heaviness. And, I mean, I'm surprised that they weren't, like, more cautious. Like, I don't want to say cautious, but, like, more like, oh, there's, like, death in the air right now, you know, because they said they work with, like, the spirit world and stuff like that. I'm surprised that they were like, oh, just gonna go about my normal life, you know. Not that they could necessarily prevent anything, but, like, I would think that they'd at least be, like, wary.
Well, I don't necessarily think that, like, that has to go hand in hand with, like, clairsentient or clairvoyant or whatever.
Right.
Like, I think that kind of dabbles into, like, predicting the future almost.
Right, but they said that, like, it felt like death was in the room.
So then they were, I mean, I don't want to, not to drag this person, but that's, like, really irresponsible. Like, if the family that was with you doesn't believe in that shit and, like, doesn't want to hear about it, that's one thing.
Right.
But even then, I would be like, I have a really bad feeling. Like, just say, like, even Christians I know subscribe to the idea of having a bad gut feeling. Like, go with your gut.
Right.
Like, if your gut was telling you death was in the area, like, no tea, no shade, like, why are you not vocalizing this? And if anything, getting out of the fucking area. Like, leave. Like, you're not bound to these people. That's another thing. Going back to what you were saying, as being a 28-year-old, I don't have any, like, room for that kind of shit anymore. I do not succumb very easily to, like, peer pressure.
Yeah.
When a lot of people are like, no, I want you to do this. Literally no, you know?
Yeah. I think this is actually, so I read a lot of, like, intuition or, like, close call stories, I feel like.
Sure.
And I feel like this is actually, like, a wild, I guess they survived, but, like, the dad didn't. And so this is kind of like the other side of it where, like, they felt the gut feeling and they didn't say anything. And then the dad blew the stop sign and, like, they still didn't say anything. And, like, then, you know, the train actually hit them. Which, like, amazing that her and her boyfriend, or they and their boyfriend, are alive, you know?
I mean, he blacked it out.
He did. Which, like, fair. That's traumatic.
Which, honestly, probably for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if that, again, and the dad is exhibiting some erratic behavior, I feel.
I think so, too.
Like, if this is when he was supposed to go. I hate to be that person. I hate to be that person. Like, well, it was their time. I don't always believe that.
Right.
But you have this alleged sixth sense.
Yeah.
You could have potentially, at the very least, vocalized that, and maybe you wouldn't be feeling.
Right. Maybe they could sleep. But, like, yeah, I don't know. That's scary. And, like, yeah, I don't know. And to be able to, like, see death, like, that's pretty fucking scary, too.
Yeah, I mean, my mom definitely has seen it multiple times.
Yeah. So, it's just wild. So that was my little short end cap of the night.
Good. We had even though nobody wrote in, we were able to find some really good ones.
Yeah, yours scared the shit out of me. So, good job.
Thank you. I mean, the little kid one was, like...
Yeah,
these are very, like, situational. Like, what would you do?
Yeah. It was good to think about. I would burn the house down and go to IHOP for the night. Always.
I would burn the house down. I would put my kid in a boarding school. I would have said something if I was in the car.
For sure. Would have sold that property for sure.
I also would have, if I was the guy with sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
Would have immediately gone to a psychiatrist. Would have immediately gone to a psychic.
Yeah.
Would have immediately, like, talked to as many people as possible to get their feedback. And also not slept in that same room for a little while.
Definitely not. I
would have had a buddy sleep with me.
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? I can't.
Like, somebody come sleep in my house. I'm very afraid to be alone.
Truly. No, absolutely. I would do the exact same thing. Well, great. This was a great Ghouls Being Ghouls. I hope that your situation gets better over there.
Yeah, it has. Ever since we stopped talking about the little girls.
Yeah, that was a rough one. I feel like it peaked there. And yeah, if you like the episode, go to Apple Podcasts, like we said before, Audible, rate 5 stars, Spotify, rate us, be the goods. that we need in the
And
world.
if you like us a whole lot, we do have a Patreon with a lot of extra content. We recently did what we're calling espressodes, where we do reviews of scary movies and other like scary media under the influence of espresso martinis and or potentially something else. Wink, wink. Golly, Wolly, Whiz. And that's available on our Patreon exclusively. So this last one we reviewed the movie Frozen, and it's not Elsa. It's a different Frozen from 2010. And you
have to
I think
see
you should
it.
go watch for yourself.
You had to be there. So be
You gotta
there,
be there.
for a short amount of money and support and love. Anyway, thank you for joining us and spilling
The Ghoul Beans.
Bye.
Bye.